Welcome to Positive Outcomes, where leaders turn hard-won experience into income, impact, and freedom.
Welcome to the show. Today, our guest is Whitney Kell, a coach, entrepreneur, and president who has spent more than 15 years navigating the worlds of corporate leadership and entrepreneurial innovation. She partnered with a publicly traded weight loss company and played a key role in developing the coaching division, an experience that requires balancing ego with personal growth and money and meaningful service. How amazing is that? Now, she helps people expand their well-being mentally, physically, and of course, financially, while empowering them to grow as leaders. Whitney, welcome to the show tonight. We are so happy to have you.
Thank you, Doreen.
Thank
I
you.
love the name of your show, Positive Outcomes. It
Positive
sets the
outcome.
stage.
Yes, that's
Right.
the whole goal. Wherever we're going, we want it to be positive, want it to be good, right? So your journey is just super amazing, encouraging, empowering, and all the words. So I'm going to start by asking you like a few questions, and hopefully the viewers will learn from your journey and take something from your journey.
Sure.
You've worked in both corporate environment and entrepreneurial services, right?
Yeah.
What's been the biggest lesson about blending both worlds?
Yeah. Straddling is how I'd like to refer to it, because straddling the field, the freedom, the entrepreneurship, and then the corporate, the money, what the bottom line is, what the rules are, what the legalities are. There's such a fine balance between the two. I think there's a different mindset when it comes to outcomes, but
Mm,
everybody wants the same thing.
mm,
Whether it's the corporation or an entrepreneur, we all want to win. We
right,
want to have success.
right.
And in the case of what we were doing, we really wanted to make a difference. And the company wanted to make a difference too. And it was a very good partnership. However, with all good partnerships come challenge, right?
Of
Because
course.
no one sees eye to eye. And especially in my opinion, with a really good partnership, the
Yes.
diversity of opinion is what makes the company. If
Yes.
everybody's a
Love
yes
it.
man, which I am not a yes
Yes.
woman.
Yes. I love it. Yep. Yep. The
Yes.
diversity is what makes the company. I love
Diversity in thinking, diversity in culture, diversity in everything. I mean, Cedars-Sinai is one of my favorite hospitals in the world. I don't know if you're familiar with that
yes.
hospital,
Mm-hmm.
but people from all over the world are there. I mean,
Yes.
I had heart surgery 5 years ago, and while I was there, I met an Irish doctor came into my room. And then, I mean, from all over the world, you name
Right.
the country, someone was there. And that's why they're one of the top hospitals in the world. That's
Yes.
my opinion.
No,
Is that
they
when
are.
you take people's opinions that are different and you mash them together, the outcome is extraordinary.
Yeah, you have those positive outcomes. You said something about the diversity. I always tell people about the winter, the snow, the beautiful tree outside. Can you count how many flakes are in that little tree to make it look that beautiful? They're all different shapes, different sizes, but they all come together. And when you walk outside, I'm in Maryland, and be like, oh wow, this looks beautiful. But it takes billions and billions of different shapes and sizes and forms of flakes to make that tree look amazing. I really love that. You talked about the challenge of ego and personal growth and money versus service. I love that. So can you share like a moment where you felt that kind of attention? A moment where there was like an attention between those and how you navigated that situation? Because this is exactly what a lot of people are going through right now. Bottom line, ego, personalities. Like, how do you navigate all of those?
Yeah. I feel really fortunate to have had a lot of wonderful mentors. Being in a mastermind has always been taught that that is the number one thing you want to do when you are building any company, having a mastermind, whether it's with the people you're actually building the company with or outside of it. That mastermind is something that helps you have perspective because you can share the things that are coming up and get other people's because when you're inside of it, it's really challenging to get that perspective.
Correct.
So having other people's perspective outside of it was really powerful because speaking into it would help us step out of the ego and look for opportunities. One of my mentors,
Mm,
Marshall Thurber, is one of my mentors, and he
love it.
said, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy?
Mm, That's deep.
Communication is the response that you get.
Yes.
So if my communication, which it was
Mm-hmm.
a little less soft and
Mm-hmm.
a little more egotistical of a knowing, if I wasn't curious when I communicate, I
Mm-hmm.
could bump heads.
Yes.
But when I'm asking questions and being curious about,
Mm-hmm.
one thing is, we really had to work at this was, what are you saying here? When somebody communicates, asking from their perspective what they mean by that. Because I could say the color yellow, but nobody has any idea that this is actually the color I'm talking about. This isn't
Yes.
yellow. So
Yeah.
from this side, what do you
Yeah.
see? Because you're just looking at my hand,
Mm,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when you sit down with people where you're trying to create something together, the creative process, which is Robert Fritz, which is another one of my
Oh,
mentors,
I
was
love that. Yes.
really powerful in helping us come to that point of really getting one another, really
Mm-hmm.
understanding what the other person is,
Person is
what their
saying.
creation, what are they looking at? Because I know it's not the same thing that I'm looking at.
Yes, yes. Oh, I love that. I mean, the viewers, are you guys hearing? This is just super amazing when it comes to communication because everybody connects, everybody communicates if you connect, right? So that connection is important. And what she's saying here is that it's important to be strategic in the way we communicate. That balance carried you into coaching, right? The
Mhm.
balance you the experience, the balance, and everything that happened, I think that's what I can see. It birthed the coaching inside of you, the natural. It ignited it because I feel like it was already in there. So it just ignited the coaching division that you have created right now. So that's so amazing. What was it like to help build out a coaching division inside of a big company? What was it like to
Yeah.
do?
Like I said, challenging. As we grew too, everybody has different faith. I've never worked with so many people from different walks of life and faith. I consider myself more spiritual and less religious. Every single
Wow. Can you say that one more time? One more time. More spiritual and less religious. I love it. Yeah, go ahead.
And by that, what I mean is that the basis of all religions to me is faith. Faith in something bigger than ourselves that we can't see, that we believe in. And I don't want to get too personal, but I've been sober from the spirit of alcohol for 25 years.
Oh,
And
wow.
in that practice, we talk about our higher power. They don't use religious names because otherwise people might not be able to stay because they get triggered by the conversation around
Religious.
specific ideals. A
Yes.
belief is just a thought you keep thinking. And what I've learned working with so many people with so many different faiths is that there's only one religion that didn't try to recruit me. And I'm curious if you want to guess which one it is. Doesn't make any of them wrong, but there was only one that really didn't.
I really
Yeah.
want to know which one that is.
They're trying to keep you out. It was on Sex in the City when Charlotte tried to become a Jew.
Wow. The Jewish
So
religion.
Jewish people are not looking for you to be in their tribe. They're looking for their tribe to stay trusted and true. If you look at the Mormon religion, they're knocking on doors and handing out pamphlets. Let's go, come and believe. Christianity, people are enrolling you. And there is nothing wrong with that. When you believe in something like I believe in what I did, I
Right.
am looking to provide value in how I see things and to see if
Right.
you see it the same
Amazing.
way I do. Right. But as a spiritual person who is more about the fundamentals rather than the truth, because I
Hmm.
have a belief that your truth doesn't look anything like my truth. And
Of
that's
course.
great. What I
Yes.
need to do is
We are all
dig or
different.
be curious enough to know what you mean
Yeah.
by that, what you're communicating about. And I think that's where people miss each other is somebody will say a statement and everybody just moves on when most of the people in the room are seeing it completely different.
The perception is totally different. Yes, I see that. I see that
So
quite a
when you're
bit.
building a community and you want different partners, you want people with different beliefs. That is
Mhm.
the power, like I said, because they're going to bring a different flavor. It's like if you think about cooking, do you like to cook?
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes.
It's so good. Well, because you put a little bit of something in it and that little extra flavor changes the entire bouquet. It
Yep.
becomes a whole different dish and it's so good. And
Mm.
without that flavor, without the bits of Christianity, without the bits of Judaism, without those pieces and parts that people bring, it wouldn't taste the same. And so I had the privilege and honor of building something with a team of people from
Very
all walks
diverse.
of life. Yeah,
Yes.
well, so it was diverse to a degree. There was certain pockets and in the way that the company was already set up, in the field was set up, it was definitely diverse in certain ways. I am all about bringing people together. That's kind of the fundamental of how I like to operate. And I like to have fun. Like, if
Yeah.
it's not fun, I don't want to do it. And it wasn't always,
Now, to build a program like that is not always going to be fun. I'm sure you had some very, like, I would like to hear some of the dark side of it, the
yeah,
times
the
where, like,
screaming.
what am I doing here? Why am I here? I would love to hear some of that in the journey of building a program.
I almost quit 1,000 times. I have a story that we used to tell on a regular basis on stage where I walked in and I said, I am no longer doing this. I am done. They can't do this. They can't do this. They don't have no, they're not capable, and I am not going to continue to do this. And I did it over and over again. And what my mentor and partner said to me is, he said, he did that. He said, what do you see? What do you see, Doreen?
A dark round circle,
Yelling down. So what am I holding up? Let's start there.
paper,
Yeah, so a piece
the
of
dark
paper.
spot,
Yes, now you were on the right track. What do you see on the paper?
a dark spot,
Okay,
right?
but what about all of this? What about the white space? What about
Exactly.
everything else
Everything else.
that's going so good? And that was the point that was made. I mean,
Wow, I love it.
that company turned
Yes.
into $1 billion company. So what I couldn't see, because I would get focused on the
Focus on
things
the
that weren't
dark
working.
spot. Yeah, you didn't see the brighter part of it. Amazing.
In
Woo!
life, isn't that how we all operate? We're
Yes,
all looking at the things
other one.
that catch our attention, the triggers that cause us to have this pain, this old wound that comes up, and then,
Oh,
so,
wow. That
I
is
mean, there
just
were so many things that were broken. There was a time when the website went down. There was a time when, I mean, I don't even remember how many presidents we went through. I think 15.
wow.
So,
15
yeah,
within what
maybe
time
more.
frame?
Say it
Like
again.
within how long?
I think it was 18 years. It's been 23 now. They've had the same CEO and president in place since then. We had several women and some diverse women, which was exciting. And even some of the people from the board of directors came in and became president.
Oh,
The
wow. Amazing.
challenge was that none of them had the experience that was necessary to build the type of company that blends the corporation with the
Yes.
field.
Yes.
So that was the challenge.
Yeah.
But just in answer to your question, with the dark side was the communication, where people just couldn't see each other. They couldn't hear each other. They couldn't be present with the reality that they didn't need to be right, that we were all on the same team and that we
Yeah.
could agree to disagree. And a lot of people, that's why they ended up going away, because it was so hard for them to have flexibility within the structure of the corporate.
Flexibility. That's the word. I was like, they're probably just so book leadership, write this, and the flexibility has to be there to build any program or to deal with that, to deal with people. And then if it's a hospital where you're dealing with patients and different disciplines, you have to absolutely be disciplined. So I know you already said it, how you some of the challenges and how you overcome some of the challenges and some of the lessons. I'm sure you learned a couple of lessons. You already mentioned a couple here about flexibility, communication. And how did this lesson shape the way forward into your coaching and your mentoring others? How did that shape your way forward?
So what I want to make sure, as I say, is I've had more personal growth and development than probably anybody. And that was a core part of what we did. We made sure we had other people that were available to help us with our communication. For me, I was in an 18-year partnership with my business partner, who was also my life partner. And we had a therapist or a coach the entire relationship. And in the company, with the corporate and the field, we also had a mediator. And the necessity of that, of having somebody who is translating what the other person is saying and that's not in it, but is outside of it, is one of the biggest lessons. Because when you're coaching someone and you're caught up or wrapped up in the story, or you're riding in that wave, or if you think about when we get caught in our negative thinking and you get into the spiral, someone has to be outside of it. So what happened was, I had to do enough personal work. I had to be sovereign and neutral, so that if you think about this, Doreen, I don't know, do you have kids?
Yes. Yes, yes,
Oh.
yes. I have 5. Believe it
You
or
have
not.
5 children? Oh my goodness.
A lot of them running
Congratulations.
around. Yes, yes. They
Well,
keep you
so
on your
let's use
toes.
that as an example. This is something that I'm really diving into right now. How I look at what I do for a living is I help people re-raise themselves
Oh,
because our
wow.
parents do the best that they could, but you've got 5 kids. You don't know what one of them's, how they're interpreting.
Yes.
And the biggest challenge, I think, and mentioned I'm writing about this, and one of my friends, I moved in with her and her 3-year-old, and I'd never seen somebody who could hold their own when a 3-year-old went through the emotional roller coaster without getting dragged into it, without saying, don't feel that, be quiet. Shh. I don't want you to have those emotions. Instead, what she did was, what are you feeling?
Wow.
Where do you feel that in your body?
Oh,
Let's take
fascinating.
a breath, Nove. And she sat with her in her emotions, but didn't get sucked into them.
Yes.
And I think
Yes.
in corporate America, the challenge is that people are taking it personal. And the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz is my personal Bible. And the second agreement is don't take anything personal, that
Yeah.
no matter what anyone does,
Love
because you
it.
have 5 kids. So every child that you have is
Different.
interpreting their childhood differently. And you,
Yes.
Doreen, are a different woman
Exactly.
this year than you were. How old? What's your
Last year.
youngest?
Yes.
Or your
My
oldest?
youngest, believe it or not, just turned 16 yesterday.
So you screwed up the 16-year-old differently than you screwed up the other ones.
Of
And
course.
it's not your fault. Like most people are just doing the best they can, but our
Yeah.
parents didn't have tools to emotionally monitor themselves. Emotional intelligence is one of the number one predictors of success in people. And I can tell you are very grounded, especially for having that many kids. I think that tones you like it
Yes.
has to, because your
Definitely.
little mirror is in front of you every single day.
Every
And
second.
you choose love
Yeah.
or the other direction.
Right. And also understanding that they're all different. I believe in uniqueness, right? The way I will talk to this person, I use a different strategy to talk to the sister, a different strategy to talk to the brother. They all grow differently. They all perceive things differently. And it's my responsibility to meet them where they are and grow with them,
You nailed it. That is what, if corporate America and our government could see the world from those eyes, but most people, and they forget that we are so fortunate to have food on the table,
Mm,
a bed to sleep in.
tell
Most
me
of the
about it.
population, we get so caught up in entitlement that
Yeah.
things are so easy. We live better than kings. Think about how kings lived. They had to go have someone go down and get the water and carry it up. They had drawbridges. And how did you get around on a horse? Like, if you think about how easy life is and the entitlement that's come with it, whether it
Yeah.
doesn't matter where you're from, and reminding ourselves that everyone is dealing with their own set of, not everybody had Doreen as their mother.
Yes. And be able to give them the grace. Give them the grace because you never know what I always say internal struggle. You never know what they're dealing with internally. So don't fit in. Give them the grace. And like you said, like your friend, just don't get into the emotions. Meet them where they are and walk them through. And that's just amazing. I was just reading on some of the things your work has touched mental, physical, and financial well-being, which is amazing. Like there are three important aspects of life, right? How do you approach bringing all these three together to your clients? Like
How do
the
I
mental
approach
aspect of
yeah,
it,
the mental,
the financial aspect of it, and the physical aspect of it in your coaching world? How do you bring all of those three
can
aspects?
I do
Important
an
aspects.
exercise? Can I do a
Yes.
live exercise with you,
Sure.
Doreen, and have you
Yes.
do it? And why doesn't everybody who's watching go through this with us?
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you some personal questions. Is that
Okay.
okay?
Yes,
Okay.
sure. I'll try to
So
answer.
if you imagine your physical, your mental, and your financial well-being, if you're working all the time, what do you think could get pulled out of balance? Think about balance. So if you're working all the time and you're not focused on your health,
Both physical will be really drained. Even emotionally, you can be drained if you're working all the time.
and if you are so focused on happiness and your health and you're not working,
Financially, you're down.
you might not have enough money to get by. So
Yes.
basically, I'm going to go through and help you kind of get the puzzle of your life. And it helps you understand, one, if you can imagine it and you can feel it in your body, that what it feels like. If you think about this from a 1 to a 10, during 10 is your ultimate physical health. You're at your goal weight. You feel great. You
Nope.
sleep through the night. You're exercising your 10. Everybody's 10, it looks different.
Yes.
And you imagine what that feels like to be ready to go out in a bikini or whatever that looks like for
Mm.
you. And you just feel so good. Your energy's great. You're eating healthy. You are attuned 10. Can you see it? Can you feel that? Could you
Mm.
imagine yourself at your 10?
Yes, yes. I'm visualizing it. I'm manifesting it right now.
Let's breathe it in.
I'm bringing it in. Oh my God.
Now, I want to take you back to current reality, which
Mm.
Robert Fritz used to say is an acquired taste. In
Mm.
the current reality, knowing that that's your 10, what would you give yourself a score right now
Whew.
compared to that number?
Honestly, I'll give myself like a 6 or a 7. I have
You
some
want to do
work to
six
do.
and a half?
Yeah, let's do 6.5.
Okay. I like to
Let's do
nail a
6.5.
number. So 6.5 works
Yeah.
for me. And your 10, you've got in your mind. Let's transition that to your mental well being. So now let's move from your physical. We got your numbers. So write down your numbers if you're
Mhm.
going through this with us.
Yes.
And we're going to imagine the
Mhm.
happiest, most satisfied, joyful,
Mm.
grateful. You have time to do the things you love. You have balance. You have meaning and purpose. You are so grateful. You're doing a podcast about positive outcomes that had millions of views all over the world, and lives have been touched, awards have been given, and you're just so grateful. Can you feel it? Can you feel your 10?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. And our viewers, I hope you guys are feeling your 10 too right now as she's taking us through this exercise. Let's feel our 10. Yes.
Okay, now we're going to do, every moment changes, especially like I said with a 3-year-old. Every day that 3-year-old woke up different. Some days she loved me, some days she didn't. So we're not going to make ourselves wrong for where we're at in this moment, but let's bring it back to current reality. We just got your 10, your
Mm-hmm.
joy, your gratitude, where you know you're going in your life and how balanced, no drama, meaning and purpose, peace in your relationships,
Oh.
everything's so beautiful. Your 5
Ooh.
kids are all laughing and singing together. Where are you now in this moment? If you know that that's your 10, what would you give yourself as a score right now?
Right now, it's definitely better than my physical because I can do more eating less chocolate. But for that, I would say a 7.
Nice.
I would
That's
say a
great.
7. It's not there.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd say a
Mhm.
7. 6.5 to a
And
7.
I'll tell you at the end what most of America is doing compared to the top 10, 15% of the population. But let's finish with financial health. This is my favorite.
Ooh.
Imagine, and for the people who are listening, I won't ask you to do this, Doreen, but those of you listening, close your eyes because I find that finances is tough for
Mm.
people. If you close your eyes, great. Let's take a deep breath. And I want you to imagine abundance beyond your wildest dreams. You have millions in the bank, but what does that give you? A sense of
Mhm.
freedom. You don't look at the bills, they're all paid. You have savings in the bank, you have money to give away. You are financially free and abundant beyond your wildest dreams.
Mm.
What does that feel like in your body? Memorize that feeling. That's your 10. Tell me when you
So
got it,
good.
when you open your eyes when you got
Oh
it.
my God, that feels super good. So good. I'll be in the
Yay!
beach somewhere, making some phone
Yes.
calls, checking on people, traveling the world,
Traveling the world.
having a personal chef every day, all day long.
Perfect. You know what that feels like, yes or
Yes,
no? Now you know.
yes,
So
yes.
what's your current score? That's your 10. Where are
Oh
you
my God.
currently in?
Well, if I want to beat that, what's my current score? I will probably 6.5.
Perfect.
If I really want to be having $1 billion in my account, traveling the world, just enjoying life, of course, I have to give back to the world, taking care of orphanages, feeding the poor and the needy, going to school, giving talks, organizing conferences, just living my best life. I'll probably say right now I have a lot of work to do. So I'm like a 6.5.
Brilliant. And everybody's is going to be different. Yours is not wrong or right depending on where you're at. But let's review. So your physical health, you gave yourself a 6.5. Your mental
Mhm,
health, you gave yourself a 7, which
mhm,
by the way is incredible. And your financial health, you gave yourself a 6.5, which is also
mhm,
incredible. So those people, when I traveled across the country, because I did a lot of traveling during my time of building this company, 2 weeks out of every month, I would travel to small towns all across the country. And most people's numbers, just to give it truth, is below a 4. I had one woman come to one of our meetings and she had lost her daughter. And after I did this exercise, she said, that is the best I've ever felt or felt in a really long time. And she was so grateful. How many of us worry about what we don't have rather than focusing on what it would feel like if we
If we
had
already
it.
have it.
And what would that do if you constantly did that in your body and you were wiring yourself for what you want instead of for what you don't have?
Yes, what I don't have. Yeah.
And that, my dear, is how I help people get to where they want. Now, like I said, if I looked at this and we were doing a private coaching session, I would sit down with you and look at your numbers and say, okay, which area do you want to focus on moving towards your 10? Because you can do all three, but not well. So, really, you want to look at which one you would want to start with. And let me just ask a personal question, Dorian. Which one would you start with if we were going to actually take the time out to help you move one of these forward? Which would it be?
I will probably start with finances.
Okay, excellent.
Why? Because I will need that to get a personal trainer to eat right, to have the time to exercise, not to rush and eat. Because my problem is sugar cravings all day long. Enough, I should be able to take better care of myself. So the finances is
Totally.
okay. Mentally, I'm okay. I'm just being a mom. Sometimes I get worried about the kids. They didn't call me where they are. I need to stop worrying about that. So I'll start with my finances and then physical. And then I think mentally will just kind of fall into place because mentally, yeah, as I go through the whole process.
Yeah. Well, let me invite you to take a look at your schedule and your calendar because if I looked at your credit cards, I could tell you your values. If I
Mm,
look at your life, I can tell you what you think about most of the time. And if I look at how you schedule yourself into your calendar, I can tell you how quickly you're going to get to your happiness and your financial freedom. Because I have a belief that the more you work on yourself, the more you
mhm.
know yourself,
Right.
the more emotionally intelligent you are, the more you can communicate and stay calm through the storms because they're coming.
Exactly.
You have 5 kids. Storms are coming. There's no doubt. You're building a huge company out there in corporate
Yeah.
America. Storms are coming. So your best financial tool is one, feeling physically healthy so you can go to work. Two,
Okay. I like.
mentally staying in the game, imagining like athletes do. Olympic
Right.
athletes, what do they do? You know what they do, Doreen. Tell everybody what they do.
Athletes are exercising all the time. They're eating right. They're exercising.
What do they imagine? Think about the
Mentally,
Olympic athletes. They
yes.
imagine winning that
Winning.
race. They
Yeah.
imagine the whole race in their mind.
Yes.
So the invitation is that conscious technology is actually the number
Mhm.
one thing that you can do to keep yourself on a trajectory moving towards what you want. And then from the financial perspective, discipline and managing your calendar. You just said staying off sugar. It's a discipline, right?
Mhm. It is. It definitely is.
So
Definitely is.
that's my invitation to you is sit down, look at your calendar and ask where is Doreen
Right.
blocked
Mhm.
in the
Mhm.
morning and at night. And I can't not say what is one of the most important things for
Mhm.
me. I know prayer is wonderful. As I said, I work with a lot of religious people and prayer is so important because you're speaking to God.
Yes.
Meditation, sitting with yourself.
Yourself. Yeah.
Teaching
Sitting
your
with yourself.
kids, how do you get to know yourself?
Yeah.
Why haven't we ever taught this? Because control, government,
It's
all of those
control.
things, they wanted you to look outside of yourself for the answers. But where are all the answers, Doreen? You know, you got 5 kids, but you still know where the answers are.
It's you have it inside of you.
And how do you find out what's
When you
inside
sit,
of you?
when you ground, sit by yourself, meditate, and pray. I love to pray.
All
I
of
s-
it,
in
journaling,
between. Oh
praying,
my goodness, writing
it's all
down.
prayer.
Yeah.
It's those pieces are so valuable. So the structure of your day with the prayer in the morning and
Mhm.
the devotion of meditation to yourself,
Mhm.
imagining the day as though you already lived it, that it's
Wow.
joyful and happy and you're going
Ah,
through your day
yeah. Just
and
rewiring your subconscious mind to make it happen physically.
boom. And
Love it.
then you need stop gaps in place for your sugar stuff. So for me, I built a weight loss company. We have products. So
Mhm.
I use those products. We have brownies and chocolate chip cookies, and I've got myself covered. So when a craving hits, I know what to reach for. I'm not going to go outside of what I've already disciplined myself to do.
Right.
But if I am going to, the tennis shoes go on and I go for a 15-minute walk. Otherwise, it's the meditation. When I'm having a really tough day, it might be a run and a screen.
Yes. Oh, go hug a tree.
Move your energy. That's the number
Yes.
one thing. It's physical, mental, and financial
Mhm.
well being are all intertwined. And when you start to realize that you can't have one without losing the other if you're not paying attention to the discipline and the practice of each one every single day, I would challenge you, Doreen, to look at your calendar and keep what's working, look at the things that are working, and see what you can delegate. What can
Yes.
you push off to one of your kids?
Yes.
I don't know if you have a husband, but off to your spouse for everybody out there, who can you deliver or delegate certain things off your
Some of the
calendar so you
best.
could put yourself in your calendar?
Just amazing. The listeners, we have had guests, but I don't know about you guys. I am learning. I'm taking notes. This was for me, not for you guys. This is me because this is definitely personal growth, self-development, personal awareness. There are certain things that I definitely am going to do after this call. So for the listeners out there right now that are in corporate America, that are dreaming of something bigger, what
Mm,
will you advise them? What first step will you advise them to do at this phase in their lives?
yeah. So humans are honey money seeking bees. That's what one of my mentors, Marshall Thurber, said. So the goal is, to the bee goes out and it fertilizes the flower and the flower grows and blooms. We have this goal that we want. Everyone's got their heart set on whatever it is that they're excited about achieving. But the real gift that people miss is the processional effect. And that's those little gifts along the way. I've met some young people and they're so stressed out and they're so focused on achieving and they've got to get it that they're missing the actual gifts are what you get along the way. Because once you get there, I'm semi-retired for 8 years. People who retire, a lot of make bad decisions or aren't happy. This is the time. This is our life where we're actually pursuing something that matters to us. So putting in the structure and the guardrails for yourself so that you have the calendar that matches what you want. I mean,
Nice.
like I said, I traveled 2 weeks out of every month for
Oh, wow.
almost 15 years. I worked all the time. I was a workaholic. I would actually happily to say that. But I did what I needed to do so that I can do what I get to do now. Like,
Right.
you've got to put in the time and the energy, but you also want to have the mastermind in place. I don't care what that looks like, but everybody needs to have people in their corner, maybe in a different business, maybe in the same one. There's so many masterminds out there that you can access. I was in an EO for a while. I'm right now in, what are those called? What am I in? I'm in a new mastermind. It's super cool. And I'm learning about AI and the power of learning AI now before we get so far along. This is the second wave. This is the internet. I mean, I don't know how many people are in the .com, the next
I know.
.com. This is it. It's happening. We're in it. You can run from it. You could hide from it. But why not embrace the iceberg? The iceberg is here. When you embrace the iceberg, you can climb on top of it. Like what was that movie that they should have done that? If they'd hit the iceberg, they would have been able to climb on top of it. But the Titanic went down because they
Mhm.
tried to get away from it.
Yes.
So when you're feeling fear and having a
Yes.
coach, look, I love coaching people because every time I tell or give or advise or ask questions, it's a deeper knowing of myself. And so having
Exactly.
somebody as a coach that is your guide, I have many guides. A lot of mine are very intuitive. That is the direction that I'm in. Everyone's going to have your own, maybe corporate America, or you're learning a skill and you just really want to get good at that skill, or you need to take a certification. Whatever that looks like for you, my invitation is for you to make sure that you're balancing it and you're getting your, writing it out and saying, okay, I have these goals. I want to be a millionaire by this age. And by the way, may I give my 3 books that I recommend to everybody?
Yes, please go ahead. And also how people can, as we are wrapping up, because you're doing coaching now already.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yes.
love
And how
coaching.
people can
So
contact you
intense.
and
Yeah. Yeah. My website is whitneykell.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm Whitney Kell too. I have a Facebook page, Whitney Kell, and I have a business page. I actually am on TikTok as well.
okay. You just
Which feels funny to laugh out loud. And LinkedIn, I'm a champ on LinkedIn, which is where I think you and I met, but
yes,
I'm
that's
not.
why we
Yeah.
connected. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I hired somebody a really long time ago to help me build my LinkedIn page. And that's the thing is that there are so many leaders out there telling you how to have your identity and your image. And it's really important that you do that. But I want to talk about the 3 books because physical, mental, and financial well being are the top 3 things that I advise
Yes.
people on. Physical health, the medical director and co founder of the company I helped develop wrote a book called The Habits of Health. And The Habits of Health is an incredible book about how to balance your health, how to manage your life. It's a textbook. And wherever you can find it, find something that matters to you with health.
Mm.
And then the other one that I mentioned was The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. That
Yes.
is one of the most powerful, and I've read it over 100 times.
Yes.
And then the
Yes.
third one is The Richest Man in Babylon. The
Wow.
Richest Man in Babylon teaches you about the energy of money. Everything's energy. If you believe that everything's energy, that's all it is. And when you start to learn about paying yourself first, just like I'm talking about with your physical, your mental, and your financial well being, the reinvestment in yourself tells the universe you want more of what you're giving. I had six-figure goals for savings and giving away money, as you said, that is such a valuable ability to have the
Yes.
freedom
The
to
freedom to
donate
give.
to things that
Yeah.
really
The
matter
donate.
to you, to
Yes.
people.
That's, yeah. That's
It's
my core.
important.
And I always say, the more I'm blessed, the more I'm going to be a blessing.
I agree. Oprah Winfrey said that, right? She said,
Yes.
I can't help anybody if I'm not
Yes.
wealthy, because people would attack her for being so financially secure.
Exactly. Right. Right. And do you have any last minute nuggets that you want to share? Because it's just
Yeah.
been so amazing. And you've shared so many things and a lot of personal development, a lot of about communication, emotional intelligence. And one thing that you said that I keep saying, everyone needs a coach. Everyone needs a mentor. I cannot count, me personally, and the viewers know how many certificates I have. I'm a doctor of pharmacy. I have an MBA. I have a diversity and inclusion certificate. I'm a Gallup Strength certified. I'm going to Harvard University. I keep doing things because, and then I have coach. I can count how many coaches and mentors that I have. John Maxwell, I'm part of the executive team. So I need everyone to understand that personal growth, personal development, it starts with you. It starts with you. So, and what she said was just so much in alignment. And I personally have learned a lot. So, can you just give some final, I know you have a lot of nuggets, but just give some nuggets before, before we end this show.
Yeah. Well, I think if I was trying to think of a metaphor that, it's water on cement. If you consider the journey that we're all on as honey money seeking bees, and those joys along the way, don't forget to celebrate. And when things don't go the way you want them to go, this is one thing I've learned over the years, is that rejection is God's protection. So if
Mhm.
something is not working the way you want it to, one, ask different questions, because there might be something that you're not seeing. Bring in guidance, have someone else look at the same challenge that you're working on and give it another shot before you decide to change directions. But if something fails, I know so many people, and Doreen, I'm sure you do too, who have went bankrupt, who lost their whole kingdoms. But like how I like to say it, a king or a queen who has an empire knows how to rebuild it. So there's never going to be the end. I am asked to magnetically attract things into my life and to
Mhm.
do it in a way that's different than the way I did it the first time. And look
Yes.
at the challenges as lessons, and the heartbreaks and the pitfalls as opportunities, because you're going to get back up, shake yourself off, feel all the emotions that you're feeling, but let them go if they're not healthy and happy. And go
Really
back to
true.
your 10.
Hmm.
Practice your 10 every day. Last closing is that if you have ceremonies like we did back in the old days, they'd
Hmm.
light a candle, right? And
Hmm.
they'd do a prayer, and we would have ceremonies in life. If you
Hmm.
have a ceremony in the morning to set the pace for your day, and at night, you got to have consistency. You get off that phone at night or you're not sleeping. You get
Wow.
off the phone at 10 o'clock every night. You turn it off. You get out a piece of paper, or you find a way for you to process your day. Breathe it out, pray it out, journal it out.
So we can go on and on. The conversation is just I don't even want to stop, but we have to stop. So we always end our show this way, Whitney.
Well, I had been diagnosed with aortic bicuspid stenosis at the age of 40. I was diagnosed with that. And it was like that Alanis Morissette song. It's like rain on your wedding day. I was like, oh my God. This company was building. I was successful. I was happy. I had the love of my life. And I was living the old life beyond my wildest dreams. And then I had the health diagnosis that I had bicuspid aortic stenosis. And I said, you know what? Let's make this the biggest project of my life. Wrong. I've had experiences where I feel like I want to say kissed God. I was in a coma. But
Yeah.
what I realized when I did that was that there's no judgment when, is it a snake that would eat a rat? God doesn't judge that. It's just
Mhm.
life in session. So if we can let go of the judgment and focus on the 10 of what we want and keep like feel it, you got to feel it. Oh, shoot, I'm bankrupt. I've lost everything. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. You didn't get that raise, that promotion. Oh, you lost your job. It sucks. But if I told you how many times I was fired from
Mm.
jobs to help me know that I was actually supposed to be an entrepreneur,
Wow, guys, that is deep. How many times she was fired to actually let her know that she's supposed to be an entrepreneur? Did you guys hear? That is amazing. Very empowering, very encouraging. So,
it's
thank you
really
so much. And I'm sure the viewers are going to find this so amazing, so much to learn from. And please, if you listen to this, please contact her again. I will add her website and information on this podcast. Reach out to her. As you can see, she is really going to help. You said something that you're writing a book. Do you want to share that now
I
or?
am. Well, I think I'm going to wait, but yes, I have a book
Mhm.
coming, and I will say that writing the book has been one of the most transformational experiences of my life. And those of you who haven't gotten into ChatGPT and AI, what I've learned is when you write something with ChatGPT or AI, is that because it's a mechanical tool, it's going to do what it wants to do. Just like most of the mentors in my life, mentors who wanted to tell me who I was. So it's an opportunity for you to tell it who you are over and over and over again. So I've been rewriting. No, I don't want that. ChatGPT has a cadence in it. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but
Mhm.
I'm proud of doing this. I've had tears and emotions, and it's been, oh my gosh, it's a graduation. When you have the courage to have a mirror in your face all the time that's giving you feedback, I
Mhm.
think it's one of the most incredible. I mean, this is a gift of our time that I hope and pray
Everybody's
that
taking
people
advantage of it.
listening to this are jumping on and going,
Mhm.
yes,
Yes,
I know
yes,
it seems intense and it's a lot, but start with getting ChatGPT on your phone.
yes,
20
yes.
bucks a month or get the free one, but start playing with it and start to express yourself and find out who you are. I think the number one thing I just believe in our lives is not just not taking things personal, but knowing and loving your unique self, because no one else is going to love you, and
Like,
not in the way that you're going to. No, I mean, people will love you as much as you love yourself. And so
yeah.
if you don't meet yourself, how can someone else meet you? And I meet so many people that are all about, they don't even have a relationship with,
House, yeah. And
right,
you can
you
never run away from yourself. You are with yourself all the time. So you have to like yourself. You can't run away from you. Wherever you go, you're going with you. So you have to find a way to read. I enjoy myself so much, believe it or not. I take myself out for dinner. I have a husband and the kids, but some days it's going to be me. I take myself out for dinner. I light my candles. I sit in the back by myself and I had my me time. And it's just amazing. And I go out between my shift. I walk on the ground. I like the grass. I ground and it's just amazing. So thank you so much for listening, guys. As you guys can see, this has been like such an amazing episode. Share, 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 and also bless somebody. Thank you, guys. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to Positive Outcomes. Follow the show and share this episode to inspire someone's next chapter.